Welcome to Alkalign Lifestyle Institute for Quantum Healing. I'm your host and guide today, Fidelis Noga II, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about why refusing to be your best self is an attack on other people. You don't like people. I don't know who told you that that's okay for you to walk around and say anti-social club. I've seen these sweaters these young people have and old people too. Right? And let me tell you, it's crazy that you walk around with an anti-social club shirt on. Because the only thing that I know is that people are inherently wired to have connection. So why would you not want to have connection? Because all of a sudden you've made these judgments, mismanaged your energy. You set the goal for you to be superior to somebody else just by refusing to be your best self. It's possible. The only way that you look at yourself in terms of value is you're so far staring at the outside that you're so angry at the outside. You're saying everybody around me is this and they're that, and you're having blame, you're having judgment, and you're saying in order for you to attack those people and to show them who the boss really is, you're going to not actually do what you're supposed to do for yourself. It's crazy. It is the most mind-blowing thing I've ever seen. But I'm not talking about Freudian psychology. We're not talking about cause and effect in here. We're talking about you causing the effect. So what's the actual end goal? We're talking about end goals here. We're talking about why people make themselves isolated and why they complain that nobody ever loves them. But their goal was to actually be isolated. Their goal was to sit there and say, I'm mad at my parents, so I'm gonna stay in my room the entire time because I'm angry at them. And now I'm gonna make them have to suffer by taking care of me because they owe me the attention that I never got when I was 5 years old or whatever it is, whatever misperception that you had for something. Yeah, you're sitting there and you're blaming people for no reason at all. It's just a bunch of children. So think about this day and age. Most people are a bunch of grown-up 7-year-olds because they stopped programming themselves subconsciously at 7 years of age. And they can't face anything. They can't take anything from someone. They take everything personally. So they can't take someone actually telling them the actual truth. They just get triggered and they just get mad. So rather than them actually being able to listen to somebody in terms of instruction that's going to help them, they don't understand that everything is the same thing. Everything is a part of God that's coming to them in terms of correspondence to show them what they've been putting out into the world. Because you live in a holographic perspective. So the mirror perspective is everybody that you meet in your day and time. If you understand this, you'll realize that everything that you're putting out in your days is going to come back to you times 10. If you don't look at yourself, you, as the cause of your effects, you're going against the universal law. So what people do is they refuse purposely to be their best self. You know what you're supposed to do. Everyone knows the first step. But they'll cry and they'll complain and say, well, it's not easy for us to be rich, or it's not easy for me to be healthy, or it's not easy for me to go get healthy food, or it's like, look, it's easy for you to do whatever you set your mind to do. It's easy for a drug dealer to get drugs. It's easy for a drug user to get drugs. It's easy for anybody to get whatever they choose to get because they made the end goal for them to get it. You're just making excuses. And you live by learned helplessness. You learned helplessness. And all of a sudden, everything around you is somebody else's fault. You forgot that you were the producer, the actor, the actress. You were the audience. You were the cameraman. You were the writer. You were the film director. You were everything. It's all you. It's just a bunch of yous multiplied into one. There used to be this throwback game on Sega Genesis. Now you know him as Coach Prime, but this is when Deion Sanders was prime time. He was the cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons and the Cowboys and everything. He had a video game, and it was called Prime Time. And you can play Deion Sanders at any position. Literally, you can put him at quarterback, you can put him at wide receiver, you can put him at kick returner, which he was. You can put him at kicker, whatever you wanted. You can put him at anything. It was crazy. It was actually pretty cool. But you realize that now, this is how the world actually is. Everyone's a reflection of you. Somehow they're a reflection of you, or you wouldn't meet them. You would not meet them on your way because they would not be on the same frequency as you. So when you meet somebody, you say, oh, this person has so much in common with me. How is that possible? It can't be possible other than they are attached to you energetically. That's how that works. So what people do when they refuse to be their best self, they're trying to attack other people. Someone that's attempting to commit suicide, someone that's attempting to harbor dangerous thoughts, right? And they're saying, "I'm gonna pop these pills, and I'm gonna blow myself in the head, and I'm gonna hurt them. Somehow I'm gonna hurt my family because they don't care about me. Somehow I'm gonna hurt my spouse because she doesn't care about me, or he doesn't care about me, or my girlfriend or boyfriend because they don't care about me. So I'm gonna cut myself up. I'm gonna pop this whole bottle." Yeah, you're doing it in spite of somebody else. That's why you're doing it, to attack somebody else. You're literally blaming somebody, and you want them to reap the repercussions of you suffering, thinking that you suffering is gonna cause them to suffer. I owe them that. You can't leave me. You can't leave me. I'm gonna leave myself because I'm angry at you because you're the cause of these effects. It's you. I know it's crazy. It sounds nuts. It sounds nuts, but it's not. It's the end goal was for you to harm somebody, and that's why you decided to not be your best self. That's why your attitude sucks every day, because you're angry. You're just angry. It's mind-blowing. You rather be an adult child walking around, because you can't be an adult till you actually choose to love somebody. But once you choose to love someone, this came from this book that I was reading. It's called The Courage to Be Happy. It's also The Courage to Be Disliked. I read that one first. The Courage to Be Happy is like the sequel to it, which is excellent. Two excellent books. If you have a chance to go get them, go get them. Courage to Be Disliked, The Courage to Be Happy. They're awesome books. And they focus on Adlerian psychology. And what this psychology term is, Adlerian psychology was basically based on the opposite of Freudian psychology. This gentleman was in tandem with Sigmund Freud, and you can call it Carl Jung, all these individuals from back in the days of early modern psychology. His way of thinking was not the cause and effect way. It wasn't to go back and look at the history of, I was treated like this, that's why I'm like this. That's not it. He was saying that the goal that the person sets, the goal that they've set inside their mind, is completely different than that cause and effect, because they're causing the effect. So if a person is sitting inside their house and they don't want to get up and they don't want to get out of bed, they're actually causing themselves to stay there because they're upset and they're angry at someone. They're upset and they're blaming someone. So rather than get up and do what they're supposed to do, they're punishing someone by not doing what they're supposed to do. They made it the end goal. They made it the goal to be bigger in somebody else's life because they didn't feel like they were bigger in somebody else's life. So you can say you have a spouse, so you can say you have a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and all of a sudden you're angry at them. They're not doing enough. You don't think that they're doing enough. So I'm not gonna get up today. I'm not serving today. I'm not gonna get up and work today. I'm not gonna get up and do anything today. They need to do it. Because I'm angry and I'm mad. And I'm not gonna do anything at all. I'm gonna stay and I'm just gonna stay in bed and moan and all that, just complain about everything in terms of life. Constantly complain, not pay the price for anything. Do you not know that that person has nothing to do with your successes or your misery other than they're in reciprocation? They're giving you back what you're putting out. And if that person is smarter, and if they're looking at you and they're saying, you're the interference pattern that's destructive, they don't have to sign up for that. Once you realize that you're supposed to love yourself first and everything else second, why do you love yourself first? Because everything is God, including you. Here's the part of it. You're apart from it. So if you choose to love yourself first, you're choosing to love God first. If it comes to your head and to your mind first, that's what you do. You don't stop what you're doing and go back and ask somebody, how much did I charge for this? How much did I ask for this? What should I do for this? Maybe this one is the right one. Should I wear this dress? Should I wear this dress? What should I do? Don't ask nobody no stupid shit like that. You need to own up to who you are. You need to own up to what special things that you can do. But people look at themselves and they say, I'm refusing to be myself. Then they start to do this thing where they want to go into isolation. I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to go into this cave by myself. Let me tell you right now, if you're in a relationship of any kind, you're not by yourself, ever. Energetically, you're never by yourself. It's called entanglement, quantum entanglement. So you have two people, one circle, one circle. When you become entangled like this, you become entangled based on waves. These circles are expressing themselves out where they're pulsing. They're pulsing like this, and they're expressing out energy waves. These energy waves can be constructive, meaning good vibes. You're a person with a great attitude, a positive person, an optimistic person, a person who pays the price to get whatever they want. Or you can be a destructive interference. Destructive interference is what? A person who is pessimistic, a person who is selfish in the realm of the ego. They don't understand that this thing on the outside, the distortion, was created based on ego. It was not based on a person uniting with somebody else in terms of connection. It was not made for connection, creation, and contribution. It was not made for that. Okay? It was made for the ego. It was made to say, I'm the biggest. I'm bigger than everything. So when you go in with these energy waves that are constructive and building and connectivity, and you have these waves that are pessimistic and they're draining and they're suppressive, this person cancels out this person. Because once you have these two waves that come in, they now intertwine like this, and they create a vesica, Pisces. Once you create the vesica, I have half and you have half. You can say left hemisphere, right hemisphere, left hemisphere. At whatever time, my positive and negative is intertwined with your positive and negative. If you're a person who's negative in terms of bad vibes, a person who's positive in terms of good vibes. Positive and negative is not good or bad in terms of this is good for my life, this is bad for my life. You have to have dark, you have to have light. Because in the dark, I can create the light. I won't be able to see anything if I can't close my eyes to make it. So I need to have my imagination with my eyes closed. So darkness and light is not good or bad. You can say mission, you can say purpose. It's not masculine, it's not male and female. Because both males and females have positive and negative. You are a battery that has on the inside the negative charge of electrons. As you can see, I'm plugged into a grounding cord. This is a grounding cord, for you who don't know. I literally have a elastic strap with a copper plate that's attached to my skin. It's like having an earthly IV inside of my body hooked up. I plug it into the wall just like I'm plugging in an AC adapter for my laptop. That's what I do. I plug myself into the wall. And now I'm getting negative electrons filling up my body at every moment, time, point, in space. And then on the outside, positive photonic emissions. So that's how you would hydrate yourself with energy. All of a sudden, I'm a different person. I'm a person that's now connected to the field. So rather than you want to stay in isolation, you want to find ways to find connection. You do not want to refuse to be your best authentic self, which is your best self. So your best self is authentic self. Antisocial club is stupid. You're just not feeling well on the inside. If you were feeling 100%, well, ask yourself, if you were just feeling the best you can possibly feel inside your body at every moment, time, point, space, wouldn't you want to go around everybody? Wouldn't you want to go around and express yourself towards everybody? Think about that. You want to be everything towards everyone. You want everyone to know who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, what are you doing, how are you serving. Your smile would be this big. That's how it would be. Isolation, there'd be no point for that. I used to be isolated. I used to not feel good on the inside. I used to have like parasites. I used to have ringworms in my head. I used to not be able to speak well. I used to stutter a lot. I used to be so sick on the inside, mainly because my gut. I used to eat all types of acidic food. I used to eat a lot of meat. I used to eat a lot of dairy products. I used to eat a lot of processed food. Once I stopped consuming, for the last 8 years, I've stopped consuming anything meat and dairy. Once I stopped consuming these things, I realized I can get the same exact things in terms of mineral nutrient content from plants and from fruits. And it's from drinking water, from eating. Sometimes I have different nuts and seeds. And I can cook them in coconut oil, like tamari and coconut oil, Brazil nuts and cashews and sunflower seeds with no sunflower oil. Everything in terms of the nuts and seeds, are always raw. It's great stuff, excellent stuff. I'm telling you all, You can change this, but you must change first how you're putting things to your body. I just did a video about how people eat themselves sick. Check it out if you get a chance. So you refuse to be your best self, thinking this is an attack on other people. You may be mad at your spouse, you may be mad at your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you decide that you're not going to be your authentic self now. Now you're going to go into this passive aggressive mode where you're going to turn your head away when they ask you, how are you doing? Is anything okay? What's on your mind? No, I'm fine. Man, you know you lying to people. Like, don't do that. Don't be a child and run from confrontation. Face confrontation so you can actually solve the problem. All right? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. This, nothing's wrong. I learned that was the most awful thing I can do for my partner. That's the most unloving thing I can do for my partner, is to walk around and not be transparent, let them know how I really feel. So now I went to my partner and I asked her, what do you think I'm going to say? Because you tense up prior to you'll ask me a question about how you think I feel. So I'll ask her, what do you think I'm going to say? Like literally. So because she's telling me I brace myself whenever I ask you things. Okay, well then, what do you think you're going to say? What do you think that's going to come out? Because you're already bracing yourself. So brace yourself for what? Okay, well, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. This is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about that. This is how I feel about this. Most of it comes from, if you think about it in this regard, you think about it in terms of how a person would be and how a person would act. If you think about it in that way, you're shifting your perspective on communication. You can build a bridge of connection or you can pull the bridge apart. It just depends on the person and the respect and admiration you have for yourself. If you love yourself, you don't lie to anyone. You want everyone to know who you are at what time, every point in time, point in space. You want everyone to know. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're going to have judgments. You have to have the courage to be disliked by everyone, to still be able to show up as your true authentic self. You can't get mad at other people and want to attack them and lower yourself and lower your vibration. And then you can isolate yourself and complain that nobody loves you. The person that doesn't love you is you, because everything is in response to how you're treating yourself. So if you don't want to practice your self-care or put in effort to have self-care in the first place, because I'm not going to show off a used car that's going to be full of mud and dirty and I didn't clean the seats and I didn't do the paint and I didn't fix it up, I didn't put no tires on it. I'm going to go out there to go sell myself to somebody. Think you're single and you want to go on a date. You're going to probably groom yourself and look your best, speak your best. You're not going to come up with a bad attitude. Why would you come up with a bad attitude? Think about that. Women and men, both, who have a bad attitude, literally. Your first time meeting somebody, your first interaction, you're going to have a bad energy. Destructive interference. Come on. You can't be a child. You actually have to be an adult and choose to love yourself. You choose to love yourself as an adult, then you become an adult. Once you decide that now my self-care is more important than anything, my self-care is the most important thing I can ever do for myself, then all of a sudden, everyone's going to respond to you with the energy that you're putting into yourself. It's wonderful if you understand how to do it. If you don't understand how to do it, it's not wonderful. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If you're refusing to be authentic, you're attempting to attack other people. If you're refusing to actually connect yourself and be social and be friendly, you're sitting there saying that these people aren't friendly. These people don't respect me. These people are racist. These people are prejudiced. It's just you. Trust me, it's you. The universe doesn't care. There's no rules set for individual colors of people or shades of people. They don't have that. It only has, do you have mastery and control of your own mind? That's what it has. It's taking the order that you're giving out at every moment, time, point, and space. Give out the right order, because you're still giving out the order that you want, whether or not you believe it or not. If you want to express fear, you're giving out the order for fear, because you know what? That's what you wanted. Whether you say it's what you wanted or not, if it's what you're giving out, that's what you wanted. If it's not what you want, change your attitude. That's how it works. So you understand that attacking others waiting for others to give you your value, waiting for others to tell you if it's okay for you to be miserable or happy today, waiting for other beings to accept you for who you really are is irrelevant. All you have to do, again, those same things, is attach yourself to your own value, is invest that time and that energy and that attention into yourself first, because then you invest it into the authentic self that you can be, and you can go out to give it to everyone else. You can't give something from an empty cup. You've got to understand you must fill your cup up first. When you fill up your cup, then you go out and you express it outwardly. And once you're done expressing it outwardly, you go back and you refill it. And you just continue to express, continue to go from point A to point B, point A to point B, and that's what you do. That's what you do. Do not attack other people. Do not make it a goal to be less than your best. Make it a goal to be an asset to everyone in this world, not a liability. Now, again, starting off the process by cellular detoxification, you must be able to break the habit of being your old self. If this was a person whom you were, a person that used to suppress your own energy space, a person that used to make themselves sick, a person that used to blame your parents or your friends or your employer or your boss or your team or your coach or whomever for your lack of success and happiness. If you're that type of person, you need to cleanse yourself ASAP. Get rid of those old, I'm gonna say unsuccessful thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and things that stop you from being your best. Get rid of those. Send those things away. They're gonna come back into your bloodstream once you detox. Change your perspective on them, change your perspective on life, and put yourself as the creator, not as a victim. And all of a sudden, by you becoming the creator, you can change everything that you've gone through. 100%. So, looking for a detoxification program, we offer our 90-day Awaken and Replenish Alchemy of Healing. We offer our Awaken and Replenish 90-day transformation. It's called Quantum Rejuvenation, our cellular detoxification experience. You're basically going to rejuvenate yourself cellularly from a cellular perspective, and all of a sudden you have the ability to now become a new person. Click the description below to sign up for today. And until then, until next time, peace.